So we are here to we have done a research on Google and its the organizational culture and how it impacts on employees' motivation. So for that we have our group members Rojina, Nikesh, myself Devyani, Krista and Chandra. To give you a little information or like introduction on Google. Basically, Google is a multinational American company which was founded on 4th of September 1998 by Sergey Brin and Larry Page. It has about 72,053 employees according to Fortune 2017. Therefore, this report aims to understand how the culture embraced by the company contributes to motivate the employees. Now, to give you a further introduction about Google, I'd like to call my friend Chandra Thama.
How we approach the objective. we all agree upon investigation, organization, culture, but also the effects of culture on motivation, which help us to decide on the title. To be in touch, we all exchange our number, emails, group chat to make easier while we are in home too. Since Google is a multinational company with no branch in Nepal, we decided that researching online is the most suitable approach. And the research. We decided the topic into further short topics to make researching easier. However, the research were not limited to the short topic to be researched on. Although, to carry out the research, we observed the artifact, values and assumptions to identify the organizational culture, read many articles, interviewed to determine its impact on motivational of the Google. And the analysis. Each member of the group conducted secondary research from various public sources such as book, internet, reports and others. Finding was shared to social additional insight how Google works. It is an corporate culture. Its mission is organize the old information and make it universal, usable and useful. And its vision is to provide access to the old information in one. How Google works. It is an hands-on valuable drives and bright and fun work environment and innovation. Thank you.
Now I like to speak about the managers. Like Chandra said, how does Google work? The Google works about its biggest assets is its employees, the Googlers. The benefits of the managers are therefore emphasis on their employees, their care and their motivations. Innovative culture are created day by day, and the motivators are by salary, by the pay they get. Only not that because they get incredible money, but they have dental benefits, they have free health insurance, they have free facilities, gym facilities, pool, snooker, and so on. The two factors theory by Frederick Ensberg is hygiene and motivating. The hygiene factor is essential in motivating workplace, not for a long term, but it is not dissatisfactory at all. The motivators factor is what Google uses. In this, they motivate the employees to their best capability. And the other theory is theory Y by Douglas McGregor's The Human Side of the Enterprise is his book in which he describes about the employee's self-direction and self-control, which Google is attempting to do. With its beginning, also it created self-direction and self-control to the employees, and now also they are the same. The employees flexibility at work. They are not bound by the culture, but rather they do the things when they want to do. The steps of easier life to ease their values and beliefs. Second, Google is the second American greatest employers by Forbes magazine in 2017. 86% of the employees are satisfied by their job, and 91% would recommend the job to their friends and fellow belongings. The employees are motivated by the empowerment of the team. The teamwork they do is the best. And they say that my managers give an actionable feedback that helps me to improve my performance. Thank you, and I love to call Krista.
Now I'm going to talk about Google culture and its impact on both the Googlers and the company itself. The organizational culture that Google has introduced and embraced is revolutionary, not only in the context of technology sector but across all the other industries. This is because not all the other companies go to such great lengths as Google does for its employees. The following are some of the benefits that both of them gain because of the company culture, because of the culture the company pursues. The first one is productivity. According to a research conducted by a leadership consulting firm, Bain & Company, Google is 40% more productive than an average company. This is because the company follows an approach called non-egalitarian method while conducting its business critical works. It is a type of method where the company fills its star players in roles that affect the strategy, execution, and business of the company. The second one is innovative and empowering works. The company knows that communication is vital in order to empower their employees and encourage them to do innovative works, which is why the company provides various channels such as Google Cafes, TGIF, Google Moderator. The employees are also encouraged to write a direct email to any of the Google's leader if they want to, which is why the market capitalization of Google as of 2018 is $778 billion. This graph is about Google's revenue over the past few years. I think this is because of the care that the company provides to its employees and how they treat their employees. The third one is right people and right culture. The company believes that in order to create right culture in the company, there should be right people. If all the people share the same foundational desires like to build, create, learn, take risk and have fun, then it is very easy to create and maintain an effective organizational culture. Which is why the company implements various steps in order to ensure the preservation of the company's culture. One of those is 5 months long hiring process. They take 5 months to hire a person. They encourage their employees to act as a culture founder than just a mere employee, and they have also established various cultural clubs to preserve the culture. Another one is good benefits attract good employees. We all know how. We all know all the perks and benefits the company provides, how good they are, which is also one of the factors why the company is able to attract between 2.5 million and 3.5 million job applicants every year from all around the world. Many of those are top-tier students from top-tier colleges. It has been reported that almost 32,000 students from the top schools, top 100 schools from all around the world work at Google. The last one is flexibility at work. One of the strongly held beliefs of Google is that they can get positive output if they provide freedom to their employees, which is why the employees at Google are not confined to their desk and chair in offices like any other employees are in other companies. They have the flexibility to work in their passion projects so that they can tap into their creativity. They are also encouraged to act as a teacher and coach one another so that they can create a creative and satisfied working environment. This is why the employees at Google are very happy and satisfied with their jobs. And now I would like to call Devani to further proceed with the presentation. Thank you.
As Krishna already talked about the pros of working in Google, but like everything in this world has its own pros and cons. The employees working in Google also face lots of problems that comes along with the pros. So I'd like to discuss a few negative impacts of Google's working culture on its employees. So the first one we have is, I'd like to add one word out here, which is only. Only launches determine the promotion of the employees. You know, in Google, the employees, they don't get reward for like incremental activities or incremental work that they do. They either have to get into, the only way they can get promotion is that they have to get into the launching team, which is a very competitive task inside Google. Which is why some employees, they believe that instead of working hard or performing harder, it is better to know people, to make connection rather than working hard. Which is why some employees, they get demotivated for promotional works. The other point that we have here is over-competitive environment. Like Google is not a place for weak hearts, or it's not a place for like incompetitive people. You know, Google employs engineers from all around the world, only the top engineers from all around the world, and then they expect the best out of those engineers. After they give out the best, after like when you know like when there's a lot of talent, or like when there's more than needed or required talent inside under one roof, there is this sort of competition. It is bound to happen. So this creates less trust, or this actually results to less trust between the co-workers or the employees, which is why they don't trust each other for any kind of work related issues or work related advices. The next topic we have here is prioritization of engineers. You know, in Google, not only in Google but in other companies also, there are a lot of other positions such as PR, HR, or people working in, or employees working out in, you know, the production team or the production faculties. They are not prioritized in Google. Only the engineers are prioritized. The salaries, everything, it is great for it works great for all those engineers, but it's not the same for it's not the same for people working in other branches. So that is another problem. The next we have is the free riders. uh, google has been Google has been established for quite a time now. So the people, or the the employees who were like taken at the very beginning of the company, they're still there at the company, and they have taken a lot of like managerial roles, like big roles, and which is why the young talented, they can't come up. That yes, they are there in the higher positions, but then they don't work like they are in the higher position. They are just riding it freely. They just don't work. It's just that they use their position at the time they need it, and they don't like give up the position for the sake of other young talent out there. And the final point we have is peer pressure to stay in office. Google only sorry Google takes the students out of the colleges. As soon as they graduate, the best students are taken by Google, and the best students would want to work in Google, which is why the students are given such an environment in Google that they, like as Krista already talked about the extra activities and all those food and all those facilities that they get at the workplace. This actually makes the employees to basically live inside the Google premises. It actually forces the employees to live inside the premises, which is why Google employees are bound to live inside. And there are some employees who would want to go out and have their own time, but because of the environment created by the peers, they are forced to live inside and work more than needed, which is why they have their own kind of pressure to stay in office. Thank you. Now I'd like to call my friend Roshida.
I'm going to talk about corporate culture and motivation. There are six factors that sets the culture of the organization and assists in the motivation of the employees of Google. First is vision. Vision is the core foundation of the culture. A great corporate culture is said to have a great vision and mission that guides a company. Next is values. Company's values are the core of its culture. While a vision articulates a company's purpose, values offer a set of guidance on the behavior and mindset needs to achieve that vision. The phrase called "Don't be evil" is of Google, which tells that they articulate their values accordingly. Similarly, if an organization values flat hierarchy, it must encourage more junior teams to dissent in discussion without fear. This can be seen in Google as well. They encourage direct communication with their employees and founders. And, next is people. No company can build a coherent culture without people. As stated earlier, Google takes at least 5 months to hire the employees